Hey YouTube. Well, I'm going to talk about this guy. I haven't talked about him for a long time, but I ran into this video today, and apparently this is part one of a 20-part series put out by Walter Lee Hampton. So some of you guys know I have a history with Walter Lee Hampton. If you don't know that, go to my first videos on YouTube. The only reason I owe him a debt of gratitude because he brought me to YouTube because of some of his shenanigans. Yeah, at one point Walter had gotten into this situation with this guy. I'll say his name is D. His initial is D. And I just thought his behavior in that situation was so outrageous that I think I made 9 or 10 videos about that situation where Walter had outed somebody and told a lot of his business. Well, it looks like he's back at it again. Is my mouth? The speed? Let me see. Let me empty my stuff. It seems like it's going awful slow this morning. Okay, if I empty my trash here, it might make a difference, right? Trash empty. Where's that? Okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to use this computer, so hopefully that's better. Anyway, it's Walter Lee Hampton. So he had outed this guy, and he had outed his whole life, and I took such offense at it. I'm an HIV person. This person, Walter was accusing this person of being HIV positive and knowingly spreading HIV around Atlanta. I didn't believe it was true. And so that's how I started making videos. So all my first videos were about Walter Lee Hampton, right? So I found them less interesting as time went on. You know, you get burnt out of that story. That story kind of went away. And now it looks like he's back with another story. Now, I can't tell. I'll put this as a question. If this is a true story or this is something he's fabricating. Because I think starting on Wednesday, he came out with a video. And no, I don't follow him. But this somehow or other, the title caught my interest or whatever. But on Wednesday, he made a video and he put this person's name in the title, right? This is dedicated to, and he said the person's name. For this purposes, we'll be calling this person Mr.X. When you see his name, you know why I call him Mr. X. Anyway. So, but the story had nothing to do with Mr. X. It was just about his general hatred that he has. Something that helps me to understand Walter Lee Hampton is the fact that when he admitted that he has been on steroids since 19 years old. So I'm no longer surprised by his rants and so forth. And at one point they were sort of amusing, the overuse of the N word. So I'm going to try to avoid that word, but it's so difficult to do if you're trying to tell a story about this man's actions because he uses it obsessively all through the videos. Apparently he doesn't like us very much. Let me say some of this. Walter hates church-going ends. He hates black gay ends. He hates Atlanta ends. He hates his own family many times, or at least he expresses it, especially when they ask him for money. He just hates ends in general. He hates people with HIV, although he claims he doesn't, but that's all he talked about for years. And this works into this story as well. He hates, I don't even know what the hell I wrote there. Oh, he hates promiscuous gays. So he's always talking about people having nasty sex, people being nasty because they have sex. He seems very bitter about sex in general, right? In his mind, I believe that he thinks that a person should be with one person for their whole life. And maybe he has reasons for hating them as well. Anyway, and he absolutely hates people begging, which they always seem to be doing. So Walter Lee has a lot of hate, right? And I think these steroids play into some of his theatrics. So today I ran into this story. He started talking about this boy on Wednesday, or he started using the boy's name on Wednesday. On Thursday, he made a video, and the video was called that same title he always uses, Welcome to Enville. Welcome to Enville. Don't ask me why he able to get away with it. I guess he just, if you change one letter, make it G Niggar, No, A apostrophe S. That makes it okay to put in your title, but he puts it in there a lot. So this is going to be part of that series. And he says this is a part 1 of a 20 part video. Now, the first guy, the one I went off about, he only made 4 videos about him. I think by the end of it, he's made maybe 6 or 7. This guy has already decided this is going to be a 20-part series, right? So I don't ordinarily send people his way, but I think it's kind of amusing, at least part 1 and part 2. All right, so I don't know if Walter's doing the same thing he did before, outing people, telling people's business and so forth. And the first video he makes is going through the gym, right? And he's showing Mr. X. He's showing Mr. X working out, right? So it's at a gym. It's a video. And he's narrating the video. So it doesn't look real because it's so orchestrated. He's doing a narrative and showing this man in many parts of the gym working out. This is a muscle guy, right? And he's giving his narrative about what a terrible person this is at the same time. So I said, no, wait a minute. Is he talking about a real situation, or is he just making up a story, and this is going to be a 20-part story, which would give him content for the next 20 days or a month or whatever it takes anyway. So then the second one now, let me see, part 1 of 2. Apparently he starts seeing this guy, right? This guy was a sub of his, someone who lived in Texas, a subscriber of his, but he didn't realize that the guy already knew who he was. But they met at the gym, and the guy started flirting with Walter. Walter apparently had hurt himself there at the gym, pulled something, and the guy offered to give him a massage. So he went to his house, and he gave him this massage. I don't know if it was full body or whatever it was. He gave this guy this massage. Walter is very suspicious, very paranoid kind of fella. Those of you who watch him know this. I'll let me tell you another thing about our relationship, about my history with Walter Lee Hampton. Walter Lee Hampton is responsible for the only video I've ever had flagged. I had one because of some music thing, or used somebody's name. It was in another video. It was just innocent. But Walter, he flagged one of my videos because I caught him in a lie, big lie, about the scars on his face, right? He had admitted it in an interview, which I considered a receipt, that this was actually a domestic situation with him and this guy he used to be with, Earl. So I posted, I think, 1.5 minutes. So a 90-second clip of him telling the truth about how he got his scar, because I had talked about it several times, but I didn't believe it. So it was, we always want to be, we was right. See what I said, But he flagged that video. And at first they said, well, you can contest that easily. You only used 1.5 minutes. You can do that if you're reporting on the story. But I said, no, let it go. And the reason I said, no, let it go is because one of his followers or his subs commented in my video, or another video I made, that maybe he was trying to protect Earl. Earl was his old lover. Because if Earl could actually be charged with crime if they knew what had actually happened. So I said, okay, let that go. I didn't contest it or anything like that. And the last thing I want to do is to be on here dry snitching or getting anybody in serious trouble. That was their relationship. So I just took it as an L. Screw it. I was wrong. Well, and that's pretty much the last communication I've had with him. But, okay, so this guy, they got involved. The guy was telling him what he wanted to hear. That's the thing about, if you watch enough YouTube videos, you actually know the YouTubers, right? If they're fairly honest people. If you watch them a while, you kind of know what they want to hear, what they like, what they don't like, and Walter doesn't like a lot of stuff. But this guy seemed to be saying all the right words. So at one point, Walter decided to trick the man. So that's his level of trust. I told you he don't like ends. He don't like gay ends. He don't like ends. N. He didn't trust the man, so he went on Jacked Walter and pretended to be someone else. Used someone else's picture just to test this guy and see if he was being honest with him about his ideas about HIV, about sex, about being promiscuous, and so forth. So the guy bit, and the guy was going to meet him. He even put in his profile, unprotected sex, raw sex. So the guy said, okay, I'll meet you. And that's all Walter needed. So now Walter has thrown him to trash. And for some reason wants to talk about it for 20 videos. Now, I don't know how he came up with the number 20 parts. Is he going to break it up? I mean, it seems kind of orchestrated. And that first video was obviously this guy. Now, the problem with the video, the first one, I think it was only 6 or 7 minutes. But it showed this guy's name and phone number all through the video. So apparently the video was produced to advertise this guy as a fitness trainer, right? But nevertheless, constantly just flashing his real name and his phone number on there, right? As Walter is ripping him apart and saying that he's a worthless piece of, let's say, dung. Dung is a good word today. At any rate, we're only two videos into this 20-part series, and Walter's already exposed that this man has got horrible credit. He's told us all about what he owes, where he owes it. He's a ripoff. He's a whore. All these things, very similar to what he did to David. To D. There's a lot of Davids in the world. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so I just can't figure out if this is just a story time kind of thing, or if this is actually a story that happened, or is he just exaggerating the story? I don't know where he's coming up with 20 episodes. Let's see. Okay, so the first one was pretty short. It was just that video. And at the end of the video, it shows him and the guy together. There's several pictures, stills of him and this guy together. So I don't know if that was part of the original video. The video appears to be made to advertise this guy as a fitness trainer. But at the end, there are stills of him and Walter together. It seems very orchestrated to get all that and then to already planned 20-part series. But we'll see as it unfolds. See what else we got. Okay, so I don't know about my list of hatred. Walter also hates Christians. Anybody who professes to be a Christian, and particularly church-going Christians. He hates that. And this man is a church-going Christian. So he makes a big deal out of this man going to church. He thinks the people who go to church are the devil. Like I said, he's been on steroids since he was 19 years old. Anyway, so he hates that about the person. He's paranoid now. He believes that this man actually set him up, infiltrated his life in order to give him HIV. This is not my words. This is Walter's words. So if you guys want to check it out, go ahead on over there. He's got about 9,000 people who have seen this so far. So, but it sounds really like paranoia. It sounds like drug-induced paranoia. This man going to move from Texas to Atlanta to single him to find Walter Lee Hampton and give him HIV. This is what he's suggesting, right? Now, I don't know what the reaction of his man's going to be, because Walter is really going into his business. And particularly, just like he did the other guy, telling all of his personal business about his credit, where he lives, how he lives, evictions, I mean, everything. So either he has done this with this man's approval and it's just a game, or Walter is exposing someone else. And he plans on doing a 20-part series on this, right? So he did one part on Thursday. Part 2 was today, Friday. It was longer. A lot of his, his hateful rant. Let me see what else he spilled. Okay, he found out the man is having his wages garnished. He found out the man has tremendous student debt, and people are garnishing his wages. He's found out he's got a 120-page credit report. He's investigated this person as if he was about to marry him. It's Walter. This is not a very happy person. But I thought it was interesting. Interesting enough for me to watch both videos. Actually, three, because the first one was deceptive because it had nothing to do with him. Just general hatred of all things gay and black. And Atlanta. He hates everything about Atlanta. Yet he's been there over 30 years. So we'll see. I'll check in every once in a while and see if this thing is real or not. If it is real, this man might have a word or two for Walter Lee Hampton.